Hey everyone, James Lynch here doing a quick reaction video to the Jean Silva Bryce Mitchell matchup. If you haven't seen the fight, you know the drill. Turn this video off. Okay, so here's the thing. I think most people thought Jean Silva was going to win this fight, although I did think the odds were off. I don't think anyone predicted Jean Silva submitting Bryce Mitchell. This is a huge win for Jean Silva. Now, I will say, this fight was fairly competitive leading up to the finish here. I did think Silva was ahead, looked good in that first round, but Bryce Mitchell, interesting game plan here, deciding to stand and trade with Jean Silva, but that's not the reason he lost this fight. He lost this fight because Silva kept going for the submission, and he ends up getting it in the second round, and the craziest thing was, it was Bryce who had him up against the cage. Silva gets him to the ground and gets the submission in there, and Bryce Mitchell's a very well-accomplished jiu-jitsu fighter. So for Silva to do this, you know, people say that term, future champion, it's been thrown around, I think, very prematurely in a lot of cases. This looked legit tonight. I mean, the fact that Silva didn't even go to his bread and butter, I'm sure he would like to have knocked out Bryce Mitchell, but for him to go in there and submit Bryce Mitchell, this is a huge win. The last guy to submit Bryce Mitchell was Ilia Topuria. Now, I'm not saying Jean Silva's Ilia Topuria, but it's a good sign to see that he can go out there and finish a guy like Bryce Mitchell. I know he was favored to win, but this is a very big win for Jean Silva. I'm going to predict this right now. The UFC is going to push Jean Silva as much as they can. We know they like the fighting nerds. We just saw Carlos Prates get a big opportunity in a couple weeks against Ian Gary. Do not be surprised if Silva ends up fighting someone in that contender spot, whether that's like an Arnold Allen or an Ortega, someone in close to that top five. I think Silva's going to get a great push here. So huge win there for Jean Silva. Best case scenario for him. I think this is better than him knocking out Mitchell because it's kind of predictable that's how Silva wins most of his fights. The fact that he can now flash this ground game as well makes him a very big threat in the featherweight division. Huge win there for Jean Silva. I'll talk a little bit more about Bryce Mitchell on my post-fight show, but big win there for Jean Silva. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who should Silva fight next? Did any of you call this by submission? If you did, I will give you full marks. I think most people thought if Silva's winning, it's going to be by knockout. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, @LynchOnSports. My name is James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.